Hello to friends from the Grassmore Mission community. Thank you for inviting me to share some thoughts with you as we get to Vocations Sunday. So Vocations Sunday, the 25th of April. This is all about how we follow Jesus, and the reading is about the Good Shepherd. Just let me share with you one of the collects for this day. Risen Christ, faithful shepherd of your Father's sheep, teach us to hear your voice and to follow your command, that all your people may be gathered into one flock to the glory of God the Father. Amen. So at the time of vocations, we often think about the Good Shepherd. What does it mean to Jesus being the Good Shepherd? Jesus also talks about being the door of the sheepfold. Now, I was going to try and record this message from beside one of our local fields with sheep in it, and I thought that would look rather good. But when I went up there, it was just too windy, and all you would have heard in the recording was the swish of the wind. So I'm afraid you've got me in my study instead. So apologies for that. But maybe you can just imagine that we're in a field, there are sheep around, and what that means. But of course, at the time of Jesus, sheep wouldn't have been in fields in quite the same way that our sheep are. They certainly wouldn't have had green, lush grass. It's semi-arid, it's sort of desert there, isn't it? And there are some places that's very green and a lot of places that really are not. So it would have been very different. And the shepherd would have done much more of leading the sheep to pasture. They wouldn't have stayed in the same place, the same field for weeks on end or anything like that. So it would have been really different when Jesus talked about being a good shepherd. One of the things I want to do today is to say something about those who are being ordained in the Grassmore Mission community, to serve in the Grassmore Mission community. The first thing to say is that vocation may be, for a few people, about being ordained, but for most of us, it's not. It's about following Jesus in whatever way that will mean. So vocation is a very wide term. Ordination is quite narrow. But I want to highlight that Deborah Hodinott being ordained deacon in June, Jill Davidson being ordained priest in June, and Lucy Thompson being ordained as deacon in September. The first thing I want to say is thank you. Thank you very much for being a community from which lots of people are exploring. And I know that they're exploring because a number of people have come to work with me and my team to do with being ordained, to explore that. And I am absolutely delighted. Now, we're not dealing with league tables here, but Grassmore Mission Community over the last few years has produced more people exploring ordained ministry than any other mission community. Now, that may or may not matter, but I'm just letting you know, and I'm just saying a very big thank you for being the sort of community that allows people to come forward, allows people to explore that, and that is really great. Lucy is going to be ordained as a distinctive deacon. And I'm not going to say a great deal more about that now, but it means that she will be ordained deacon. She will not be ordained priest a year or so later, as is the case with Jill and will happen with Deborah. Her ministry is as a deacon in the long run. So it's to do with servanthood, it's to do with service, and it's to do with mission. It's to do with having one foot in the church, one foot in the community. It's a rather different sort of calling, but it's there to remind us all that we have a calling to serve, to wash the disciples' feet. Remember, as Jesus did on Maundy Thursday. So I want to say today, please keep encouraging vocations. There's a really interesting book that's been produced called Kingdom Calling by the Church of England that talks about vocation as being social, relational, or ministerial. I think in the past, vocation was often thought as being churchy sort of stuff. So if you said about vocation, it would be, oh, well, you're going to be ordained or maybe be a reader. Some people, of course, might think of vocation as being to do with a nurse or perhaps a doctor, but that was sort of about it. I'm really pleased that these ideas of social vocation, relational vocation, and ministerial vocation have been written down, because I think it helps us to think about vocation as being much, much wider. In all of those areas, we can follow Jesus. So, a couple of questions to leave you with, really. How does that reading in John's Gospel, chapter 10, resonate with you about your calling? Is it helpful? If so, why? If not, why not? The second thing I want to say is just give you a very quick quote from the book about kingdom calling. And it says this: vocation is about what gives continuity and distinguishing shape to our unfolding journey of discipleship. Let me just say that again. Vocation is about what gives continuity and distinguishing shape to our unfolding journey of discipleship. How does that resonate with you? What does that mean for you as individuals, as a small group, listening to this, as Bible study groups, but also as the wider community of the Grassmore Mission community? How are you exploring vocations personally and corporately? So a very big thank you. I wish you well on this Vocation Sunday, and thank you very much.